Slam podcast. I'm joined by Jeff, and we're going to have a great discussion today. I am all over the place. It's been a hellish experience to get this thing ready to record. The video quality should be real good. It should look nice. We should sound great. It's been a while since we've been back together and recorded to do a podcast. Not really as long as it would seem. It's really just been a week. But somebody's been messing up big time over here.
I think.
Wait, what?
Wasn't it 2?
Yeah. Well, I mean, at this point, this is now like, with this going up, I think it's officially been 3 weeks. Because, it's 3 weeks since the last time the last one went up. So,
right. Well, one got recorded and that does not exist anymore.
Actually 2. Because I remember. So, it's definitely been 3 weeks now.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it's bad, but we definitely have got a lot to talk about because we've been having a lot of fun doing stuff here lately. And of course we have quite a lot to catch up on. So Jeff, what have you been up to for the past little bit?
I got done with both the Nulf and Nulf 2. That's No One Lives Forever 1 and 2 playthroughs.
And those streams were great.
And I made a playlist of that. Yeah, except for one episode I streamed for 35 minutes with no sound.
Yeah. Except for that little bit right there.
Oops.
Well, I mean, I feel like we've all done that before. Like, I mean, it's a rite of passage for a YouTuber. Like, and you'll do it time and time again. Like, I'm pretty sure every YouTuber has multiple streams where you just, or videos where you're just like, you're testing different stuff out, and then like you upload a video and then just later you're like, ooh, did not realize that was the, like, I've uploaded videos before and then realized like in the export, Caden Live screwed up something, and like just in the brief sort of playback that I did after it rendered out, I just didn't catch it, and then someone else like comments and points it out. I'm like, shit. But so beyond playing games or anything, have you been trying out anything different with your computer, like setup wise?
No, not really. I've been tightening the place up, putting in so it's doubled, putting plastic so it's doubled up on places where there might be infiltration. Like the skylight, which is where I thought my glare was coming from, but it wasn't. It was actually coming from the door. I put the piece of plastic on the inside there because that's where all the heat's going to want to try to escape at the highest place.
First things first.
And stuff like that, and tightened up the greenhouse where air was coming in.
For everyone listening and you hear those notifications, sorry for cutting you off, Jeff, but for anyone listening and you hear like notifications in the background, that would be TFL hitting me up like on Discord. Don't pay it any attention. But yeah, continue. Sorry.
So yeah, I've just been tightening up any place where there might be air coming in, getting ready for winter on the house.
Yeah, man. I mean, we can't have you freezing. Come on now. Like,
so
we need you to be warm and ready to stream throughout the night, no matter how cold it gets.
So not tonight. It was cloudy today.
Darn it. So what I'm hearing is no streams tonight?
Maybe early. But definitely not.
Hopefully we'll do something live after recording this, because I do want to do some gaming and stuff, and we do this in pretty much every podcast where we briefly talk about like, hey, just so you know, we do like live streaming and everything together sometimes. You should come and join. But I do have this brief sort of thing to say about you not trying new things or changing out. I'm so fucking jealous. Can we just address this? I have had to switch around and try so much different shit lately to get my stuff working. It's so damn annoying. I can't just do the things that I want to do until very, very recently. I'm just very jealous. and kind of very envious of the fact that just like, yeah, no, I haven't changed any, I haven't done any, I haven't messed around with anything. Like, why would I do that?
Everything's working as expected. So
I've just now hit that point. I'm like, now I've become that person where like, I'm not touching anything. Like, if somebody wants me to try out some new nifty program and it's going to change a whole bunch of shit on like behind the scenes, it ain't happening. Nah, everything works. I'm not messing around with my system like that. Come on.
Well, it wasn't too bad on this little laptop because it was like, okay, Ubuntu, all the Proton and Wine and Steam stuff works, but the Linux stuff don't work. So then I tried Endeavor, and that wouldn't even install. That failed on the install twice because I'll give it a second chance.
Mm-hmm. Well, did you ever try Fedora on it?
No. And so then I went Manjaro XFCE and everything worked. Okay, boom, done.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, Manjaro is a good distro. People like to give it a whole bunch of crap. It's a solid distro. It's not what I would recommend to a lot of people, especially just because most people are going to install the KDE version. And
yeah,
like KDE is great, but then it falls apart when you want to start navigating the settings. Like, if you're trying to walk your grandma through a settings menu over the phone, let's all not lie to ourselves. You would thank fuck she was using the GNOME compared to KDE if you had to walk her through the settings. Like, it's a way different thing.
Oh, I couldn't find, when I did a couple times I tried it and I couldn't find where's that setting I want to change back to the way it was. I don't like it the way I've set it this time.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, they hide shit in there. Like,
where was that setting?
Yeah, like the fact that like double clicking a file to change it, like every time I talk about KDE, I bring this up. But like the fact that
I never get past trying to change all the defaults to something I like, and finally just like, never mind, I'm going back to XFCE.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean the settings menu is just so garbled, and like it could be vastly improved.
I mean, I could see why people like it, but
oh yeah, no, I mean, like, again, I'll still say KDE is great. Like the way KDE can interact and like can all sort of mesh together with itself is awesome. But it all falls apart when you're trying to give it to a new user and they want to do like basic customization, because navigating through these settings is a hassle. It's not anywhere near as bad as like someone might interpret that I'm making it out to be. It's all I'm saying is it's just as bad as Windows. Like, Windows is convoluted as shit too. Like,
right.
we should be better than that. Like, that's kind of my point. Like, your settings menu shouldn't be convoluted and insane. And the people who say it's not, come on, brother. The fact that workspace behavior is where I find something to do with interacting and double clicking files. Just think about it for a second. Where would you expect to see an option to change double clicking a file to make that opening a file not single click? It would either be in file browser settings or mouse settings. That's the only two acceptable answers.
File manager.
Yeah.
File manager settings.
Those two there are the only two acceptable answers. Workspace behavior, what? That's, to a new user, they're going to see that under that settings and be like, why? What? Like, I'm an experienced user and I see that and I go, why? Like, that makes no sense. But hey, some things you want changed, but you can't get aggravated over it. I think a lot, like, I mean, me and you are kind of the same in this way. We don't let shit like that ever get to us or upset us, but I feel like a lot of people do. Like, a lot of people let small criticisms and small things that could get better or whatever, or even just the disagreement of talking about what could get better or whatever, it it gets them riled up. And I feel really bad for those people because I mean, like, dude, you were letting yourself get upset and riled up over stuff that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Whether or not the settings in KDE is ever super simple to navigate or whether it's not, doesn't really matter. Whether or not KDE is for everyone doesn't matter. Most of the things that we will argue, bitch, and complain about and fight about at the end of the day doesn't matter. It's just, let's have a good discussion about it. Okay. Like, cause I mean, you like XFCE, and I mean, the thing about XFCE for me is it's too stable. Like, it's too stable. I know that's a stupid argument. It really is. But like, I mean, XFCE hasn't changed since I was like 15.
Until you throw multiple monitors at it, and then 99% of the time, yeah, it works like expected. And then when it don't, you're like, what the?
Yep.
Like that. I think there was it was during, and it always happens during a stream. It doesn't happen when you're not streaming. There's this stream I did of some Star Wars game on RetroArch. And I started up Retro, and it kept going back and forth between RetroArch would pop up in this screen, and then I'd hit play on the game, and it'd jump over to that screen, and then I was like, what the?
The compositor's trying to figure out which monitor it should go to.
And then any other time, it didn't do that, except for when I was streaming. So there's like 10 minutes of the stream with the... Changing OBS.
I think that's kind of a thing with XFCE's compositor is just it's never been something that's like XFCE has never been the like multi-monitor go-to desktop environment.
No.
Like, but with that being said, like I love the people who will take that statement there and be like, well,
and it hasn't done that to me since then.
Yeah. Well, but see, here's the thing. That statement though is true. Like XFCE can be like it will most of the time work with multiple monitors just fine. But when it starts not working, there's no explanation for why.
Nope. And
like you can't figure out what's going on. There's no clear documentation or bug like way of going about figuring out what's going on.
And just like when Pulse Audio bugs out, there probably isn't no fixing it. It's probably just bugging out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's that like, welcome to the world of Linux. That's just Pulse Audio being Pulse Audio.
It works 99.9% of the time, and when it don't, there's no reason for it.
I mean, when Pulse Audio has a seizure, it has a seizure. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. Like, you just have to ride it out. But, I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, people will take those statements, like, us talking about XFCE, and it, like... You know, it cannot play with multi-monitors, not well. And they'll be like, well, I use multi-monitors with XFCE and it works fine for me. And like that statement there, like I understand that. But what you're trying to say with that statement is that it should work fine for you. And it's like, no, XFCE has never been one that everyone reports it always works with multiple monitors. I've been around in Linux for long enough to know for years it has been known that XFCE can play weird with multi-monitors. Yep. It just can't. There's different things about different projects.
It can play nice with them too.
Yeah. But I mean, like, that's the thing. Like every project in the FOSS space, like there's pros and cons to them. And it's weird that people want to just not acknowledge the cons, or like when they do acknowledge the cons, like they acknowledge they're there, but then they tell you that like if you're experiencing them, then something's just completely weird and you should trudge on. Like it's just like, that's just the way that it should be. It's like, no, like, look, if you're someone who's always using multiple monitors, and especially if you're someone who's using, like more expensive, like gaming 1440p monitors and like, 3 of them, like you probably shouldn't be using XFCE. Like, I mean, and it's kind of obvious because you're choosing a project that they discovered what they wanted to be. They ironed out everything good about themselves like 10 years ago. And now they're just trying to make it as stable and work on as much as they can. And part of that like stability and everything comes from the fact that they don't radically change stuff. So they're not radically adding new features and shit to support that new hardware, because guess what? It can break stuff. So they take their time with it. So if you've got bleeding edge displays and display outputs and all this shit, like, yeah, XFC is not for you. Like, I feel like that is kind of in what XFC is. Same thing with like Mate. Like Mate is great, but you know, if you're bleeding edge like through and through, like Mate is kind of not for you. Now it can be again, different strokes for different folks. All right, no statement that I make like opinion wise is going to work.
It's a simple, straight ahead desktop environment with sane settings, though. Unlike,
I mean, to be honest, like, I don't think anyone would really have a problem with Mate having like a massive resurgence. Like, it was and still is a good looking desktop environment. Like,
yeah,
it's sexy. It's just I know Mate can have some weird, like, it can play very fucking weird when it comes to like having like graphical applications try and take control of your screen. Like, it's weird. I've had issues with Mate when it comes to gaming, and like, not the gaming would work, but how it would behave and switching between like going from Mate to a game and everything. Mate never liked that. I always said Mate liked to have control of your desktop, and if something else wanted to have it, it didn't. It just didn't like it and would misbehave. But then even then it was still usable. Like Mate, I have to say, like, Mate is a very even when it misbehaves, it's still usable. Like, that's kind of the weird thing about Mate. It may just be me there. I'm sure somebody else in the comments of this will be like, no, I've used Mate. It's completely unusable. It sucks. Like, I'm sure. I mean, hey, for the thousands of people out there that something works for, there's going to be that one person who's like, my computer exploded. I installed it and my computer exploded. There's going to be that one guy who's like, yeah, I ran NeoFetch and my house burned down. Oh, hi, buddy. Yes, sir. But yeah, so when it comes to doing anything other than gaming, have you tried out any? Me and Dylan and everybody have been talking about like programming languages. Have you been trying out scripting and anything?
No, I haven't.
I'm telling you, man, you have got to get into it. You got to automate them simple tasks that you do on the computer all the time.
I want to get parts for another. I want to get parts for another trackball, but I just don't have the cash for it.
Well, see, you need to play around with your software before you get the trackball. That's how you do it. You automate a lot of your shit, then you get your trackball, then you have a perfect setup. Because like, what you could do, like, I don't know if you do this like at all, but like, if you like automate the like your game save files, like, because I mean, you play a lot of retro games, so you could like set up some scripts to like automatically like save your like save games and shit, and like put them on a backup drive. I've just been tinkering around with like automating all the shit that I do on my computer. It's just so fun. It's a completely unnecessary hobby. Like, I mean, some would argue that it is kind of a waste of time, but it, like, I spend time, save my time later on. So I don't know. Kind of nice. I mean, TFL would pop in here and be like, look, scripting and automating everything that you do on your computer would always be amazing. But
9 years ago, I actually like used my computer to draw and do research, and I didn't play games on it 9 years ago. Now it's like, that's pretty much what I do on it.
You know, well, I mean, that's, I don't know, like, you change. Like, people don't want to admit that, but like, you change from time to time. Like, what you want and what you need out of a computer or just anything changes. Like, I mean, if you think about it, like, at one point you wanted a toaster because you just wanted to toast bread. But then at some point you got a toaster oven and you're like, well, fuck the toaster. Like I can't go back to that because now I can not only toast my bread, but I can also, make like a little like pizza in here too. Like why go back to the regular one? Like your needs will, like you change as your needs change and everything.
Right.
And Buddy over here wants to like be part of the stream. Hi, Buddy. Hi. Hi. Yeah, you're a good boy. Most of the time. Most of the time. I can't let it get to his head too much. Get down. Get down. Hey, I'm trying to talk to a friend here. Okay, I know. So, I have no idea. Like I'm trying to steer the conversation, but to be honest, I can't steer anything right now. My train of thought, a conversation, anything. So why don't you take it over, dude? Ask me whatever you want to ask.
Have you played Zero AD lately?
No, that's a damn good question. Yes, I have. It plays exceptionally well on this laptop.
Good.
I don't know, like, so on your computer, what FPS do you get when we like start reaching like 200 pod cap?
I don't know. It's usually pretty smooth though. When it chunks out, it chunks out.
Yeah. I have tested it on this laptop, like settings bump to like max, and like it's great. But even at that super high pod cap.
But I do have the actually I go to 12.8. I go to 1080p when I play that game because it doesn't. It acts funny at 720p.
You're not sure.
You just can't get out of the game. It's not supposed to work at that low of a resolution if you actually look at the documentation. And so you can't exit out of the game because that button's covered by something else because it's crunched. So I actually do play that one at 1080p. But usually I've got this laptop on 720p so I can read stuff on the little 13-inch screen.
Buddy, stop. Get down.
So there's the performance generally on anything goes way up right there. Just
yeah, dude. See, like Zero AD, I wish it was better optimized. But then again, at the end of the day, I could give two shits less because it's still 100% playable and it's so fun. Like, it's so fun. Me and you just need to do a whole stream where it's just me and you 1v1ing. Because, like,
I'll get my butt whooped.
Well, no, see, here's the thing. You think that, but, like, really all it takes is you starting to do the like, focusing on garrisons. Like, a lot of the times, like, when I look at your civilization, you're spread out. Like, you're trying to focus on, like, too much shit at once. Like, focus on getting your people on wood and food. And then just keep constantly having your civic center putting women women on wood after you get like 10 bitches, out there on a field or on some, bushes. After that, just have all of them go and like just keep pumping them out on like wood, having like 4 or 5 of them build houses, and then pull them away from wood, put them on fields gradually. But while you're doing that, have about 5 of them build one garrison. As soon as that garrison's done, have more men go over to the trees, and keep having them build garrisons. Before you know it, you've got like 5 or 6 garrisons. And when you batch from there, you can just keep making people so much faster. And that's how you'll build up an army, because then it's really easy to pump out cavalry because you can focus your civic center on anything else, and by then you've got so many people that, again, you only want to be focusing on food and water essentially until you hit like phase 2, like at the end of phase 2, like where you're about like ready to go into city phase and start sending in siege weapons. That's when you want to start putting people on like metal and stone.
I think the next time I do single player, I'm going to go ahead and stick the AI at the highest setting. But it's a completely different game when I do that, because I sit there and put it on slow and have it a nice relaxing game of strategizing, as opposed to
No, see, here's the thing. The
And
problem with that
intense.
one is you sit back and what you
It
do is you
doesn't
have.
help. It doesn't help the multiplayer game. I realize that.
Yes.
But it's a completely
relaxing.
different game, and I like it that way.
Yeah, it's fun because at that pace, like, dude, I've done that too. It's so relaxing. Like it's a completely different game. Yep. It's not like the challenge is removed, but the aspect of the game is so, like, I don't know, it's so much different. It's like, especially if you're like us and you like to, you know, chill and smoke a little bit for, like, you know, for that relaxed state of mind. It's much better because you're not glued to the screen, focused, like, I need to do this, I need to do that, and then, like, because in that type of
normal game speed, you don't have a chance to stop and breathe. You're
exactly
later. Oh, I got a chance to look at the chat. Oh, click, 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 click.
Damn dog does not want to listen to me, and he is hyper aggressive towards our poor Amazon man. But he just does not like him.
I do that in that Star Trek game too. I'll like slow it way down because there's like different game speeds.
Well, it's just more relaxing, man. Like you just get to take it slower. And
if I want to play an arcade game, I'll play an arcade game.
Yeah.
But if I want to play a thinking game, I want to take it nice and slow, easy.
And that's kind of the problem, like when we do actually play 0AD multiplayer, like we're all smoking and trying to relax and then also playing a multiplayer game. We're like, we have to be hectic. And like, I feel like that's why, like, we have all of these people who come into the live stream and like it's not like we necessarily don't get along, but it's like they don't understand that we're not trying to be professional.
We're just trying to have fun. And you know what? If right now we could bring new people into the game and not just totally be bored with them.
Exactly. Yeah.
And give them, but like what dude, is it? I'm going to assume I'm going to assume that was a girl with the anime voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if we was all that good, there's like it would be no fun at all for someone new to jump in with us.
Exactly. And
so we wouldn't be no good at promoting the game as far as new players, which we're not anyway, because for whatever reason it's hard to get people to play 0AD.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think part of the reason why it can be so difficult is a large portion of their players are like that, where they're all trying to become the best at it. And like for someone who's like I mean, like us, like we're essentially just casual players. Like we just want to come in and have a good time.
I'm not trying to get that good at the game. I'm just trying to have fun.
I'm just trying to have a fun, like a fun game. And and like the fun part for us is like having a semi-equally matched like army, just like meet up and fuck each other up. And then like just like it's literally like you're kids and you're building sandcastles on the beach and then like attacking each other's sandcastles. It's cool as shit. Like it's just like for me, like the whole idea of like let me build up an army and like get professional. Like you're starting to remove the fun aspects of it. Like like, yes, the strategy is fun, but like when you take it to a whole nother level, like where it's like straight competition, like the entire through and through, like, no, like we're just trying to like bullshit around and see what we can do. Like, I mean, because dude, I always go back to that one game that we had. Like that was the most fun game to play. And I died pretty much at the fucking start of it. Scott wiped me out. And then and then came over and like tried his best to destroy you, got rid of you off the side of the map. You were on the other, built up. Dude, that was a fucking great game. I feel like if we have more of those games, we'll end up bringing over a lot of people into 0AD over time, because those are the games that are just killer. Especially since we're normally streaming, like those games, like where you're like commentating it, and like there's like this epic war going on. It's like, that's always great. It's just fantastic. I really do enjoy playing 0AD, but I think what we need to do is definitely start playing like more games together. Because then we could come here to this podcast and have like just have it be gaming talk, like just us either talking about like how we shitted on people or how we're terrible at this game, or how X, Y, or Z game is just terrible. The thing though is like we can't really do that all the time though, because I mean, dude, like there are single player games that both of us just want to play and relax and like. Yeah. Because I mean, like, dude, watching Nulf was dude, that was great. It was such a good game, such a good game.
Have you ever checked out? Have you ever checked out Warzone 2100?
Heard about it, never seen it.
That one could be could be another fun multiplayer.
Okay,
it's pretty good.
What's it all about? Like, I mean, I've heard
it's
the
real
name.
It's real time strategy, but it's tanks and.
Oh, okay.
It's not too futuristic, but it's
But I mean, we're not talking about like World of Tanks or whatever. Like
no, it's like Command and Conquer.
Got you. Okay.
It's more like Command and Conquer, but a little newer.
All right. Yeah, dude. See, like here's the thing: no one in their right mind plays enough games. Like, I mean, if we're being honest, nobody plays enough games.
The single player campaign's pretty good. It's hard as all fucking hell.
I mean, I have never actually seen gameplay of it. I've heard the name thrown around. Never looked into it.
Huh.
Mainly because I'm lazy as shit. If we're being honest, that's what it is. If we're being honest. Speaking of being lazy and stuff, we're kind of like, so for the last podcast, both of them, when we recorded them, we were like excellent on time. Like we didn't make them super long, because again, we still have to make up for the fact that we have one podcast that's 9 hours long. Like we just have to. I feel like there's an obligation to people who watch where like, yeah, we got to make up for that one podcast where like I just kept going and kept going and kept going. So yeah, speaking of being lazy and everything, we're gonna end it here because we've had a good conversation. We're gonna end on a high note. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the podcast. Again, keep eyes out. We both live stream sometimes together, but Jeff's links and everything will be in the description below. Check them out. He's got a fantastic channel. He does stream quite often, and he's a great guy, you know? And if you couldn't already tell, he's a great guy. You should go check out his channel. And we also do have merch down below, and so you support me, you support Jeff, and you support the Linux Cast and everybody over there, because I haven't talked with Jeff about it, but we need to get him merch launched at some point. And apparently I feel like people are going to keep using my store as the place to put their merch so they can avoid paying taxes on it. And I have to pay the taxes on it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.
Bye-bye.